Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yes. Is my PPT visible? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay. I want to share so that I can switch over to another file to demonstrate something.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. You remember me? Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
A pleasant afternoon to all. Education is not piling up of a pile, but lighting of a fire. These words by the renowned Irish poet W.B. Yeats beautifully resonate with today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, and eminent guests, we have gathered here today for a significant and enlightening event on the second day of our research methodology workshop. It is an absolute privilege to have you all with us. To make this occasion even more special, let me invite Dr. K. Kavita, Assistant Professor of English, Department of EFL, to give the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the ladies and gentlemen over here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all over here for the second day ceremony of. I welcome all the distinguished participants over here. My warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. K.S. Andonisamy, Professor and Head, Laila College, Chennai. His topic for today's session is honoring research article writing skill. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our management. I welcome our head of our department, Dr. S. Leela. I welcome all the participants over being here to attend this session. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita, ma'am. Now we have Mrs. K.C. Maithili, Assistant Professor of English, to introduce the guest of the day to the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Maithili ma'am has muted herself.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It's a huge pleasure and privilege to introduce our guest of the day, Dr. K.S. Andonisamy, sir, to the audience. Dr. Andonisamy is a distinguished scholar with an eminent career in academics. He currently serves as the head of the Department of English at Loyola College, Chennai. He has also drawn several positions in the academic arena as the Dean of Students, Divisional Commander of NCC Navy, Advisor of All India Catholic University Students Federation, and the Secretary of Teaching Staff Association at Loyola College. He has also served as an advisor to the Southern Region of Staff Selection Commission, Government of India, and his commitment to the field of English literature has left an indelible mark. With a doctorate in English literature and numerous publications to his name, he has not only expanded the boundaries of knowledge, but also inspired countless students and scholars in their academic journey. English language teaching is his area of research. He's a specialist in literary theory and criticism, along with English for specific purposes. He has been guiding PhD and MPhil scholars of various universities. He's organized UGC-sponsored seminars and national workshops. He has completed UGC-approved minor research project titled Effective Implementation of CCE. He has conducted over 300 seminars and workshops as well. He was invited to contribute and participate in IATEFL, that is International Conference held in Glasgow, UK. Further, he has presented a research paper in 4th European Conference held in Paris. In recognition of all these academic accomplishments, he was conferred with the Best Teacher Award by Grab's Educational Charitable Trust in 2017 and Best Mentor Award by Dr. Kalam Educational Trust in 2019. Apart from his accomplishments in literature, Dr. Anthony Sami Sir is widely recognized for his expertise in research methodology. He has mentored and guided numerous research scholars, fostering a culture of academic excellence. His insights into research methodology have been invaluable to many aspiring researchers. We are truly honored to have you, sir, amidst us today as a chief guest. Looking forward to your valuable insights and wisdom on the title, Honoring Research Article Writing Skills. So once again, I take great pleasure in welcoming sir, and the forum is all yours. Thank you.
So good afternoon, and thank you for the words of welcome. The officials of SRM University Ramapuram campus, Dr. Kavita, Professor Nadia, Professor Maithili, all the faculty members of the Department of Languages, EFL, and CSH, SRM Ramapuram campus, and all the participants, once again, good afternoon. Quite interesting now to talk about research, especially during the afternoon after the lunch. Quite challenging for some of us, even for me to share ideas, for some of you to listen to ideas, tips on writing research article skill or honing research article writing skill. It's a honing, how to refine. Let me share the PPT right now. One minute. Yeah. Is the PPT visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Now, let me give you the kind of freedom to stop me to clarify anything during my lecture. It is advisable, I would say, because allowing me to talk for an hour or so would definitely put you off. Might be a challenge. Therefore, I would invite you whenever you have doubts or clarifications, you can definitely unmute yourself and raise, so that there is a kind of a variety. There is no monotony in the talk. That's my advice. So the title is honing, how to refine, how to embellish that art of writing, research article writing, those skills. In fact, I have served as the head of the Department of English, and now I have been given another assignment in Loyola College as the director. In other words, a head in Department of Kaushal Kendra, wherein two courses are offered. One is on digital journalism, both UG and PG level, and the other one is 3D animation, again offered at UG and PG level. That's where I am. So anyway, my love for English literature remains the same, and the research in English language teaching remains, the same. Okay. My simple advice for all of you is to read a research article, well-written research article, before you write an article. This is a very plain prescription, and it is a kind of a viable a suggestion. In order to prepare a dish in your kitchen, you'll have to start observing how it is made and then start preparing the dish itself. I don't think any amount of theory on preparing a particular dish or how to prepare sambar or how to prepare a particular dish or sweet item may not help us unless we try ourselves. Sometimes we have to meddle with, make one or two mistakes, but then it is that particular experience of meddling with, trying, actually involving yourself is what is going to really help you. In fact, I interacted with one of the editors of a newspaper, Deccan Chronicle. Is a good friend of mine to whom I sent my students as interns. Some of them went to Deccan Chronicle as interns. Then I had to meet him one day, and I asked him what is the usual method of training these students who come to Deccan Chronicle or in other places like this. What is the usual procedure? What do they do? Out of curiosity, I asked. He simply said, "Sir, the intern here is a kind of a training, and the best thing, the first week, I or the team, my team, tells all the interns to read news items, news stories written. That's all. Let them feel, let them go through the structure, understand the language, and then let them also grapple with the kind of idea behind writing a news item." This is what happens during the first week. And then second week, of course, they are sent to the field along with the reporters to find out how they should collect the information from the field. That's what they do during the second week. During the third week, again, the interns are expected to sit with the reporters and write actual news. That's what they are expected to do. And while writing, they are expected to interact with the reporters. And then the fourth week, of course, they know what kind of news items they are able to produce. It's a kind of a process, and there might be mistakes, and there are rooms for revision. But it is something that they learn by doing. This is what he told me. And I take a clue from what the editor of Deccan Chronicle said about the internship training. And the same thing I would like to also offer you as a kind of a advice or a clue, guideline, or whatever you call it, or even you make keep it as a kind of a prescription. In order to write a research article, you should read a well-written research article and understand the nature of it, the structure of it, and the language used there, and the kind of message that is given towards the end, the findings, and so on. I think that's the best way, right? In order to write a short story, you read a few short stories, correct? And then you add your imagination to that particular structure. You have an idea and you have an imagination, you have a creative power, then you pour all these things into that particular structure. So I think that is the best way of learning how to write a research article. And here I am going to really help you with understand what a research article is. To start with, a research article is a primary source. Remember, it's a primary source, original idea that reports the methods and the results of an original study performed by an author or authors, and it is published in a peer-reviewed scholarly journal. I think this is what we mean by research article. In fact, research article is a miniature of the PhD thesis. If you understand the methodology of a research article, the structure of a research article, the language of a research article, you are going to apply the same to writing your dissertation. And once upon a time, long back, research articles had only a limited readership, consisting mainly of the scholars and graduate students. But today, there are many, many readers. Anybody would love to read research articles to know what is being researched or what is being found out in a particular field. They might be interested in the findings. Okay, and the websites such as Google Scholar and other such related websites have really proliferated the information to the outside world. At the click of the mouse, you have the idea, you have the research article. Today, we are endowed with the luxury of information. Here is God's plenty, as Chaucer would say in his prologue to Canterbury Tales. You have anything and everything available. So therefore, the difference between the 20th century and the 21st century is a proliferation of information. You have lots of information, you have a help, you have a kind of a support system where you can even learn it by yourself. And that's a luxury that we are enjoying. Now, what is the structure of a research article? I have just put it like structure it well as a kind of a command. Structure a research article well. It is that as simple as that. You have to start with an abstract, right? And then go on to write an introduction. In fact, introduction, methodology, results, conclusion, and discussion are the parts of a research article, but then abstract is definitely part and parcel of any research article. Okay. Now, an abstract is something that I would say again a miniature of a research article, a short summary of a research article. It should be very short and give the overall idea. Correct. Before reading the research article, if you read the abstract given in the beginning of the article, the readers know what exactly is written in the research article. Therefore, it should be short and it should have again a structure, a definite pattern, an overall idea. Correct. And the abstract actually talks about what was done and what was found out and what are the main conclusions. Correct. What, how, what was done and how was that research done and what are the main conclusions. Correct. So in short, that's what you should keep it in mind. And this is exactly what you are going to observe while reading a research article. So my talk today should disturb you or should orient you as to find out what should be the aim of a research article, and keeping that in mind while reading a research article, you are going to find out, identify, okay, yeah, introduction is in its place. Introduction contains this, methodology part contains this, and this is how I should also write. It is almost like, say, aping, imitating. Correct. You have an idea, right? And you have done a research, you have made a study, and you have the findings and how you are going to express that idea, that, those findings. You need a structure, you need a template, and that is what exactly we are trying to help you with. So abstract is followed by keywords. KW I have put as keywords, and these keywords would definitely help the readers to identify your article in the database. In case I am searching for a particular study on a topic, I would try with some key words that I know. So if you are going to select those keywords that would take the readers to your research article in the database, then your research article is read, and then you are referred to. And that's how the H index is built. Okay, so therefore, including keywords along with the abstract is a very important aspect. Okay. Then introduction. How should an introduction of a research article begin? It should introduce the topic and emphasize why it is done. Correct. Now the context, the significance of the research. What is the need for the research should also be stated in the introduction. I will give you a model a little later. And introduction should also give space for you to relate your idea to the current knowledge, what is available already, what is being read, what is being discussed right now. That should also be referred to in the introduction. Then what has been done so far, what has been completed in that particular area, and what needs to be done. So that's when you also state the research gap. Very often the research guides and the experts keep talking about research gap. Right? What's a research gap? What is done and what needs to be done. So there is a gap, and that's exactly you need to address. And if you are able to define what has been done so far in that particular field and what is left undone, then you are clear about your research. And that's exactly what we mean by research gap. So research gap should be mentioned already in the introduction, and then you are going to introduce your work, your statement of the problem or your research question. Correct. And of course, introduction also includes the purpose and the main objective of the study. So everything comes in introduction. Correct. Then it is followed by methodology. Methodology, of course, it's about a graphic account of the experimental setup and the techniques used. You are going to explain the techniques used. And the research article is like a cookbook. It's something like a cookbook. Be specific, provide all necessary details. Don't take it for granted. Don't leave it to the reader's imagination. You should be in the perspectives or in the the shoes of the readers, and then think for them. Think for yourself, and then you should be able to give specific details, all necessary details. And of course, results after the experimentation done, you should be able to give the summary of the results after the analysis and compare the results, right? And the focus should be more on what should be emphasized. More focus on what should be emphasized, of course. Now it's a kind of a bare outline I'm giving. We will go a little deeper in the next slide and so on. And the third chapter, in fact, the third part, result analysis. And the fourth one, of course, conclusion after the analysis of the data and the discussion. Here you answer all the research questions that you have formulated and stated in the first part of the research article, right? And then you are expected to give the summary and the conclusion of your study. Sometimes you may have unexpected findings. What is unexpected findings? You may have the hypothesis, and then you test the hypothesis. Then you find out whether the hypothesis is proved right or wrong, right? And even beyond that particular procedure, you may have even unexpected findings. Something like a serendipity. You have you suddenly discover something or find out something that comes along during your research. So that is also a surprise element you should be able to add. And again, in a research article, you are expected to establish any newness, the contribution of this particular study. Now, in fact, any research article or any research that you do should be able to contribute towards the knowledge, the bundle of knowledge that already exists. Merely rephrasing what has already been done or editing what has already been done is not going to excite people, right? What is the contribution that you are going to make, right? That's again another aspect that you should be able to give in the conclusion. Then in the concluding part, in case there are any discrepancies that are found in the research that you have done and the kind of knowledge that is already been existing, right, or established between what is already found out, what is already stated, and your own findings. In case there is any discrepancy, you should be able to explain. That's where you rectify and then affirm or reaffirm your own research findings. Nothing wrong in case you find there is a kind of a conflict of interest between two ideas. One is already established by others and the one that you are establishing right now. Nothing wrong in saying. You should be able to explain that. Then, of course, further research and implication. The scope for further research also you should be able to indicate. All these things you might have heard of, but then it's a kind of reiteration for you. Then finally, it should end up with the references. Today being the day of the kind of the era in which much is discussed in terms of plagiarism, copying, chat GPT, whether it is original work or done by AI. So therefore, you should be able to support your research findings with the appropriate references. Now, the research article is not an impression based. It's not based on any impression. It's not your own idea. It is derived out of the data analysis, or it is derived out of so much of reading of literature. And that reading should also be acknowledged, in terms of references. So that's very, very important. So roughly this is the kind of research article structure, right? You have the introduction. Introduction itself is introduction comprises these steps. Introduce the topic, relate to the current knowledge, indicate the gap, introduce your work, then state research questions and objectives. So introduction should contain all these things, all these aspects. It might be one paragraph or it might be 2-3 paragraphs depending on the nature of the article that you write or the length of the article that you write. Okay. Then in the discussion part, of course, you should answer the research questions and support and defend answer with the results, and then explain the conflicting results you got. Then explain unexpected findings, discrepancies with each with other research, right? This is what I explained in the previous slide. It has been put in a kind of a chart, right? Then finally, you state the limitations of the study, state importance of findings, establish newness, announce further research, and so on. The same thing again, one more chart that is given here, right? Okay, you may have a look at it: introduction, methodology, and the results, conclusion, and discussion. It's all in the format of a chart. Now, it's all in the internet, you can also refer to. What I am trying to help you with is use any one of the chart, any one of the structures, so that you are your research article is read, appreciated, published, right? And that's very, very important. In fact, some of the research publishers may even give a different structures with the subtle overall structure would be the same, like IMRC, for example, introduction, methodology, result, and conclusion, IMRC. They say IMRC structure, but within the IMRC, some journals might suggest subtle variations here and there. I think that is where you should also be very careful. You know, if you want to send your research article to a particular publishers, and you should be able to know what exactly they expect in your research article. That structure you should be able to follow. You should customize your research article as per the expectation of the the article structure advocated or practiced or accepted by that publisher. Okay, that's very, very important. Even that variation is still there. That's why I keep saying that you should read an article written previously and published in that particular publication. For example, if you want to write an opinion article to the Hindu, you should read the opinion article already published in the Hindu. Only then you know how it is done, what kind of article is approved and published. You can't keep the same rule and apply it everywhere. For example, Times of India may have a different structure, or they may have their own expectations, their own standards different for an opinion article. Okay, OPD, opinion about education and so on. Our editorial may have a little variation, or the news story might have a different structure. That's where you have to be also a little careful about. You can't say that this is a one size that fits all. Of course, one size is very important. The structure, overall structure is important, but then the slight variations, right? Like APA or MLA style of referencing. APA is subtly different from MLA or Chicago manual. That's what I mean. And the same thing I am putting in a different slides in order to emphasize how the structure is very, very important. Correct. Now, of course, introduction should state why the problem you address is important, the significance of the research article, the article is written. So significance of the problem, significance of the study, and then you should state what is lacking in the current knowledge. That's what we mean by research gap. And then state the objectives of the study or the research question. All these things should come already in the introduction. Then, of course, methodology part. Describe the context and the setting of the study. Specify the study design. Describe the population, whether they are patients, doctors, hospitals, teachers, or students, or stakeholders, the educators. Describe the sampling strategy, how you picked up the sample, chose the sample, and so on. and describe the intervention. In case you have done an intervention program, sometimes your research article is a report of a study done on an intervention program. You know, you intervene, you suggest a particular methodology, and then you try to test whether that particular methodology is working well or not. That's what you mean by intervention. Identify the main study variables, right? Variable is another very important aspect, study variables. Okay, for example, using technology in the classroom enhances listening habit. So there are two variables. One is use of the technology in the classroom. The other variable is enhancing the listening technique, listening capability. So there are two variables. So the main variables should be identified and mentioned here. Describe data collection instruments and procedures and so on. Outline analysis methods. And the results part, report on data collection and recruitment, responses and the rates, etc. Describing participants, demographic, their details and so on. Presenting the key findings with respect to the central research questions. And in addition, presenting secondary findings also. Sometimes the main findings are attributed to the hypothesis or the central research question. And in addition, there might be a few other findings also. Those things you should be able to report. And the discussion part, state the main findings of the study, discuss the main results with reference to previous research, discuss policy and practice implication of the results and so on. Analyze the strengths and limitations of the study. Limitation again is a very important aspect. And offer perspectives for future work. You know, mostly I have given you the structure of a research article in different forms, in a very descriptive manner, or in the format, the structure, the chart that I have that I have used and so on. Okay, now coming to some kind of discussion part. Why do research titles matter? Okay, now going into little deeper, what about the title? So far I have discussed only the structure of a research article. What should be written in each part of the research article? For example, introduction, right? Then method, and then results, and then conclusion. What should be incorporated in each of these parts? That's what we focused on. Now, taking the title, whether title matters. Yes, it is a first impression. That is going to be the lasting impression. If the title is not catchy, if the title is not very comprehensive, if the title is not relevant, then your entire research article is not attractive enough. It is not going to attract the attention of any readers. Why readers? Your research article will not be published. Therefore, stating the title or phrasing or formulating the title is very, very, very important. Right. Now, here are a few titles that I have given. I have taken it from internet, and tell me whether any one of these titles is very, very appropriate. Unfortunately, many of you are might be literature students, ELT, English language teaching research students, ELT students. But here I have taken I have the example from the field of medicine. Okay, so anyway, you try. The first title, Benefits of Meditation for the Nursing Profession, a Quantitative Investigation. That's the title given. If I were there with you in a kind of offline mode, I would wait for your answer. But now I don't know whether you will respond to my questions. Which title is very appropriate? Why? Why mindful nurses make the best communicators? Second one. And the third one is meditation gurus. Guru. It's very, very absurd. Not absurd, but then it's not very specific or pointed or comprehensive. I am giving you my own impression. The fourth one is nurses on the move, a quantitative report on how meditation can improve nurse performance, their profession. Okay, these are the four titles which I have taken it for discussion. And okay, let me go on. Title 1 here, if you recall the title 1, benefits of meditation for the nursing profession, a quantitative investigation. It is certainly describe the topic and method of study, but it is not particularly catchy. Right? It's not very catchy. It's good. Maybe the title that is good enough at the beginning of your research. And that's how we start. We don't come up with the final title of our research article or dissertation at the first instance. No, it keeps evolving, right? Therefore, it's simple. It includes the method of study, quantitative, all that is fine, but not very catchy. Title 2 describes the topic, but does not give any information about the method of study, right? See, the first one, quantitative investigation, that's a methodology. That methodology is missing in the second title. Okay, it is very, very simple. Sounds like a theoretical or opinion piece, second title. The third one is very catchy, but almost no information. Meditation guru, very catchy only, but then it is not complete or comprehensive, no complete information. Fourth title begins with the catchy main title and is followed by a subtitle that gives information about the content and the method of study, both. See, any title should be should incorporate both the content of the article or the research and the methodology that is involved. I think that's very important. And in addition, it should be very catchy. Three things you should keep it in mind: the content of the article or the research, the methodology that is done, that is involved in the study. The third one is catchy. So all three should be there. I think as per the description given here is the fourth one. That's very, very appropriate here or comprehensive. Even this particular title could be improved upon. If people think it over, they may definitely try to improve upon. Nurses on the move, a quantitative report on how meditation can improve nurse performance. Okay. So title matters. Right. Therefore, the characteristics of a good research title is it should predict the content of the research paper. When I read the title, I should be able to guess what the research article is going to contain, what the idea is all about. So, that's number one. And number two, it should reflect the tone of the writing. It should also involve the tone, the formal tone or the informal tone, or whether it is going to be a kind of a report, and so on. And it should be interesting to the reader. That's why it is said that it should be very catchy. And another one, it should contain important keywords that will make it easier to be located during keyword search. So some of the research article should contain the keywords that would help the readers to identify this particular research article. What is the use of research article? Of course, for your career growth, promotion, but then your knowledge should be reaching others. What you have researched, what you have found out should reach others. It should be beneficial to others. Therefore, you should create a system, or you should use words that make easier for others to locate your search. Writing winning scientific abstract. Now the title I have spoken about. Now about abstract, how to write an abstract, because I am not going to spend time on writing the entire article, right? But I am going to only give you a few things, how to formulate a title and how to write a abstract and so on. Now follow the guidelines in order to write a winning scientific abstract. Abstract should be formatted as a single paragraph. Correct. Even there is a point. One single paragraph should have a unity of sentences. It's a unity. There should be 4 or 5 sentences, and all these 5 sentences should be interlinked. Okay. And there should be a topic sentence. For example, if it is a paragraph, and there should be 3-4 support sentences, and then finally there should be a concluding statement. This is a paragraph. I don't know whether we keep these rules while writing a paragraph. Start with the topic sentence and go on with the 3 or 4 support sentences to that topic sentence, and finally conclude the paragraph with one concluding statement. Okay, but here abstract is different, but I'm just saying it should be in one single paragraph. And the abstract should be in a block format, paragraph indentations and so on. These are all mechanics of writing. And the center word abstract at the top of the page with the double spacing between heading and the abstract. All these things might differ from one particular publisher to another publisher. That's what I wanted you to note down, observe, make an observation. Okay. So mostly the abstract page immediately follows the title page and so on. Now, avoid including references unless the guidelines demand. This is the point. You should keep it in mind. See, it is an abstract. You should be able to answer the questions what, how, why, and so on, like this. And there is no references required here unless a particular research article, publisher demands. Right? They may give you guidelines, or they may have permitted the article with abstract written, including references. This is where I want you to keep it open-minded. It allows to maintain the word limit and makes your abstract very simpler. So, as per the general rule, do not use any reference. According to John Dewey, or in the words of John Dewey, you don't have to say that. All those references have to come into the body of the research article, not in the abstract. Title that grabs the attention. Remember, the reader reads the title first and follows the study. So your title must be eye-catching, simple, clear, informative. It should reflect all the important points covered in the study. Remember the title which with active verbs grab the reader's attention. Active verbs, right? And what should you avoid? Avoid having a lengthy title. Good title contains less than 15 words. So these are all some of the things you have to keep it in mind. The third guideline, apply no more, no less concept. What is required you give, furnish. Ensure that the abstract narrates all the parts of your paper. Provide a brief about why and how the study is conducted. This is what I told you. What is done? Why is it done? How is it done? Answer these three questions, right? Then that becomes your abstract. Interesting. Make it very simple, right? Study findings you can add, and why is the study important? And remember not to overstate any of them. For example, an abstract usually does not include citations. Again, this point comes. Avoid using lengthy background information, redundant phrases, unwanted adverbs, adjectives, repetitive information, acronyms in your abstract. This is not the place. In fact, these are all do not find a place in research itself, I would say. In particular, abstract. Keyword usage. Include keywords which people are likely to use while searching for papers on your topic. It supports the search engines to rank your document and make it easier for others to find. So keywords that are relevant to the topic should be added in a separate line after your abstract. Sometimes, we use keywords just for the sake of some words we use. That's what most of us would have done. Initially, I could have also done that. Some words related to the research. No, we should choose those words that would help the readers to reach your article in the search engine, in the data from the database. That's very important. Avoid using too small or long keywords. For example, your study is about gestational diabetes. Usage of keywords like diabetes, blood glucose, they are very broad. These words will not take you to your research, right? And your paper may not be visible on top in the ocean of papers on diabetes. That's where you have to be very careful. So the structure of an abstract, why did you do that? This is what I told you. Significance or the research gap. What did you do? Description of your research problem. How did you do it? Basic design method, protocols, variables. What did you find? Trends, unique findings. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the society or the stakeholders? Conclusion, implications, and so on. Okay. So that's it. Now this is a kind of a title you should, follow. Yeah. Oh, sorry, one minute. I'm just answering Nitya who is messaging. Yeah. I shall share the PPT. No problem. So structure of an abstract this is very important. If you do not follow the structure, your paper will not be accepted for publication. Correct. That is what the whole point is. And here is a sample abstract. Reading the entire thing will take a lot of time, right? But then I just want you to anyway, I'm going to share the PPT. You can go through this later. And the model abstract is given here. The first paragraph is answer for the first question, significance of the topic, factors influencing EFL learners' writing skills. First paragraph. The first point, there is only one paragraph which I remember, but for our visibility, I have put it in the bullet points. The first sentence or the first few sentences answer the question, why did you do this? Significance of the topic. Sorry. Factors influencing, an analysis of factors influencing EFL learners' writing skills. And the second bulletin point describes what did you do. Okay, writing is a challenging ability, right? It's a difficult to write coherently. It needs abilities combining words and sentences. I think the first two bulletin points answer the first question. And the third bulletin point is what is being answered to the question, what did you do? Second one, research problem. So the research problem is the paper aims at exploring the factors that affect the EFL learners' writing skills, both in negative and positive ways. This review paper marks out the body of research regarding the term of writing skill, the problems of writing, and the factors influencing writing. Okay. Based on the literature review, the learner's priority is developing writing skills and they require more attention. Okay. So if you read a few sample abstracts, you will understand that this particular structure is being followed. Okay. And how should an introduction be written? Introduction should be written in this manner. Introduce the topic, followed by relating your topic to the current knowledge. That's what we mean by the consolidated report of the review of literature, and then indicate the research gap. All right. What do you want to do? What has already been done? Therefore, what is the research gap that exists? Then you clearly state your own research work, introduce your work, then state a research question and objectives. So these are the guiding lines of introductory part. Remember, in some publications, the introduction is written or advocated or accepted as one paragraph. In some publications, introduction may go on to 3 paragraphs, 3 even. So what is done? Why is it done? And how is it done? Okay, that way. So a conclusion, of course, you should wrap up your ideas to leave a strong, lasting impression. Right. When you conclude your research article, what is the knowledge that has been contributed, and that should be highlighted so that it is going to leave a very strong, lasting impression on the readers. Restate a research problem addressed in the paper. You have already made a statement of the research problem in the beginning of the research paper that you have to restate towards the end. Summarize your research ideas, overall findings briefly. Indicate the key takeaway from your research. Some of the unexpected findings, key takeaways from research, all should be done in the conclusion. Okay. Now, common mistakes seen in a manuscript usually. Some of the common mistakes that you find in the journals or the research articles published in the journals. The research question is not specific. So next time when you are going to write your research article, see whether your research question stated is very, very specific. If it is not specific, not specified, then it is a mistake. It is the reason for rejection. Your article being rejected. The stated aim of the paper is a tautological. Tautological is very, very repetitive. Sometimes it's going to be very redundant, vague, very repetitive. It should be very crisp. The structure of the paper is chaotic. IMRC. IMRC. Introduction, methods, results, and C, conclusion. Right now, that should be followed. It should not be chaotic. The paper exceeds the maximum number of words allowed. Right? Sometimes even the talk may exceed the time limit as it is being done now. It happens, but then you should be mindful of the word limit. The introduction is an extensive review of literature. Introduction contains many other things. It's not only review of literature. So some people overdo with the review of literature and then forget the other aspects of introduction. Okay, so some of these points you should keep it in mind. And of course, the last point of this particular slide is the paper is written in a very poor English. The last point. See, academic writing is the backbone of research article. We should be very thorough with academic writing. That's another area. Written in a very standard English. Right? I don't know whether we are all influenced by messaging, texting, the short SMS now. We tend to forget the formal usage of formal English. It's very important in research. And of course, Web of Science. I just wanted to introduce this. The Web of Science is what is previously known as Web of Knowledge. It's a database of a bibliographic citation of multidisciplinary areas that covers the various journals of medical, scientific, and social sciences, including humanities. Web of Science. People ask you whether you have published in Web of Science or Scopus in text. This is mostly for science, and then of course for arts and humanities, Scopus is an Elsevier abstract and citation database. It was launched in 2004. Your aim should be publishing in a Scopus in text journals, the journal that is indexed in the Scopus. Correct. So that should be the aim. I just wanted to give you a brief hint about academic writing skill, because academic writing skill, as I told you, is the backbone of research article writing. It refers to the style of expression that researchers use to define the intellectual boundaries of their disciplines and specific areas of expertise. See, it's a kind of academic writing is the mode of reporting, the style of expressing the ideas of your research findings. Okay. So, and some of the characteristics of academic writing skills, it should be in a formal tone, a formal style, and use of the third person rather than the first person perspective, usually. A clear focus on the research problem under investigation, and the precise word choice is used. I'm giving you the bare minimum guidelines of a writing style that is advocated for research articles. Whereas academic writing is a big subject. It's a vast subject. There are lots of ideas are there. Okay. Like specialist languages adapted in other professions such as law and medicine, academic writing is designed to convey agreed meaning about complex ideas or concepts within the community of scholars, experts, and practitioners. Academic writing is a style that is agreed upon by the scholars of particular field, academic field, to report their ideas. Okay. Some of the do's and don'ts I have included here. With that we can complete, and then I just wanted to highlight one research article. If you think we can, what are the do's, ideas, and concepts should be explained in a very precise way. Writing stories in an elaborated way is not good for any useful paper. Right. Mention all the research techniques and methods used in the paper and justify each of them with the specific reasons. These are some of the do's and don'ts. Don't. Never write any false statement, as it reduces the effectiveness of the paper. Do not give any impression. Don't go by any impression. It's not your impression or perspective that's research. Even your perspective is to be supported by any statement or research findings that has already been established in the realm of research. That's very, very important. See, remember, do not cite blogs, Wikipedia, because they are unofficial information. All right. Plagiarism in your research paper affects your credibility. If you plagiarize, you are liable even to be sued. Right, it has got a legal implication, so better be careful. You want to digest and comprehend your own ideas, the ideas that you read, and express in words of your own, and support those ideas with some references and quote, acknowledge. I think that's going to be well and good. Okay, so these are some of the references which I just wanted to show you. But then remember this Henkel and Gold. These two writers have written a research article titled Rules of Thumb for Writing Research Article. If you read that research articles, you know, you will come across all the information I have shared. Right, I have taken most of the information from this particular research articles, and the research article titled Rules of Thumb for Research Writing Research Articles by Henkel and Gold, written in the year 2002, is a typical example of a demonstration of how a research article should be written. Right. So I just wanted to highlight that research article for 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, no, not this one. Oh, sorry. These are all the write-up I had used. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's clear. Now, this is a research article that I was referring to. Is it big enough now? Are you able to look at this? Look at
Yes,
this
sir.
research. Yeah. The rules of thumb for writing research articles. I'm not going to discuss very elaborately. I wanted to just draw your attention to this research article. Note down. You go through, and this particular research article gives you how you should write a research article. See, for example, abstract. The title itself, title itself is very, very catchy. Rules of thumb for writing research articles. And look at the abstract. See, the paper provides rules of thumb for writing research articles, in bracket RA, research article, that will be used as a expression hereafter, and getting them published. That's all. Right? The abstract should be short but give overall idea. What was done, what was found out, and what are the main conclusions. Everything should be here in the abstract with the comments. Okay, and if you go through the abstract, you will understand how the abstract is illustrated as per the guidelines given here by the side of as a comment here, right? And some of the keywords research article, if you type, this article will appear because the research article itself is in the title. All right, a rule of thumbs, a structure, publishing. So how carefully they have used the keywords. And of course, I told you introduction may contain 3 paragraphs or even 4 paragraphs. See, look at this. Introduction. The first paragraph introduces the topic and emphasizes why it is important. If you read the second paragraph of introduction, talks about how relating to how your research topic is related to the current knowledge. That's almost like kind of a review of literature, and that particular part ends with research gap. Okay, research gap. What is already done and what needs to be done, right, in the corner, in the left hand side margin, and the right hand side margin also you have the comment. And of course the final paragraph of the first introductory part introduces your work very clearly once again followed by the purpose and the main objective. Okay, the main idea was to summarize. The last line, if you read, the main idea was to summarize main conclusion from these discussion and bring them all together in a form of a paper. So this is the objective of the research paper. Then the methodology, how this particular article was written, what was the methodology with which they collected data to arrive at this findings, and how this research article was written. Okay, then results and so on, comparing the results. So again, very interesting. The table contains, look at this, a title. What is the main function of the title? Indicate the content and the main discoveries. Okay, that's all. Main function. What is the preferred style? It should be very short and simple. Purposive. Right. Aims at a specific audience. Right. Rules of thumb. What is the rule of thumb? Avoid a complex grammar. Make it catchy. Avoid redundancy. What is the rule of thumb you have to follow in formulating the title? See, while formulating the title, what kind of function the title should play? Right. What is the function of the title mentioned here? What is the preferred style it should with which the title should be formulated? And what is the rule of thumb to be followed while formulating the title? Similarly, how abstract should be written, how introduction should be written, how methodology should be written, how results should be reported. Okay, so all these things are given in a very capsule form also in the article. And then finally, this is the chart that I was displaying to you in my research, in my PPT, right? And then how conclusion should be written. What is the purpose of conclusion? Answer research questions, give summary conclusions, and so on. So this article is available in the internet, correct? You just type it in the search engine, rules of thumb for writing research articles, it will appear. Remember, it is Henkel and Gold. Okay, Tomislav Henkel and Michael Gold. So they are the writers. You go through this article, it will give you a fairly good idea about the research. Okay, so these are some of the ideas I just wanted to share with you under the title honing. Honing, you have a research article writing skill. That's an understanding. The title itself implicates that everyone has got a skill. We can do research, we can write, right? We can express it in an article. All that we can do. The only thing is we need to hone, embellish, polish, market in such a manner that it is accepted, in such a manner that it reaches the readers. That's what I am trying to I was trying to do in my lecture. So I think some of these ideas I have given, and a lot more you have to learn. I like to end my lecture once again saying that in order to write a good research article, you should read continuously a few well-written research articles. That's my simple advice. What I have done is only a kind of tips here and there. Some of the ideas I have shared with you. So thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate the time and effort you invested in preparing and delivering your speech, which has enriched our understanding and built our passion for research. Your words will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on our academic journeys. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all of enriching discussions and learning as well we delve into the fascinating world of research methodology. I request the participants, if you have any questions, you can post it on the chat box.
Thank you, participants, for your words of appreciation. I'll be very happy if you could read research articles and start writing and getting published. That's my wish and that's my prayer. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me invite Dr. N. Sumati, Assistant Professor of English, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
A warm and graceful evening to the guest of honor, Professor Anthony Sami, other professors and research scholars. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the day two of the research methodology workshop. On behalf of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, College of Science and Humanities, Ramapuram, and Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, we extend a hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest of today, who spared his time to enlighten us on research paper writing skills. Sir, actually, you have given a deep insight into how to write a research paper in a very systematic and structured way. And I think it would help all the research scholars as well as faculty members to write a better research paper. And thank you for your insightful speech today. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartful thanks to all the professors and the other research scholars who are the participants of today's event. And I also congratulate as well as thank all the organizers of this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again for being part of this workshop. We look forward to see you all bright early tomorrow. Goodbye for now and see you tomorrow.
Ma'am, can I leave?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you and well done, organizers. My hearty congratulations to all of you. And also special thanks to Nadia, who constantly thinks of me as a resource person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah.